Okay, then just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. That's the law. Okay, are we ready? All those voting guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. Those voting not guilty? 1. Right. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well, now we know where we are.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
Oh, what are we doing now?
I guess we talk.
Boy, oh boy.
You really think he's innocent?
I don't know. I mean, you sat in court with the rest of us. You heard what we did. The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 18 years old.
Well, that's old enough. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. They proved it a dozen different ways in court. Would you like me to list them for you?
No. Then what do you want? Just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about? 11 men in here think he's guilty. No one had to think about it twice except you.
I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So how come you vote not guilty?
Well, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Well, now, who says it's easy?
No one.
What, just because I voted fast? I honestly think the guy's guilty. Couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide in 5 minutes, supposing we're wrong.
Supposing we're wrong. Supposing this whole building should fall down on my head, you can suppose anything.
That's right.
Look, what's the difference how long it takes? Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
Who's got something to say?
I'm willing to sit for an hour.
Great.
I heard a pretty good story last night. That is not why we're sitting here.
All right, then you tell me. What are we sitting here for?
I don't know, maybe no reason. Look, this kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. He lived for a year and a half in an orphanage when his father was serving a jail term for forgery. It's not a very happy beginning. He's a wild, angry kid, that's all he's ever been. And you know why? Because he's been hit on the head by somebody once a day, every day. He's had a pretty miserable 18 years. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
I don't mind telling you this, mister. We don't owe him a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? What do you think that trial cost? He's lucky he got it. Know what I mean?
No.
Now look, we're all grown-ups in here. We heard the facts, didn't we? You're not going to tell me that we're supposed to believe this kid knowing what he is? Listen, I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word they say. You know that. I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that.
Now listen.
Do you think you were born with a monopoly on the truth?
Ladies and gents, it's Cyberland coming back to you with another film review, and this time we're going on to something that came out, I think, before even my mother was born. "12 Angry Men." So, this film, I actually saw in college for the long time ago. It was a film class, and I didn't know what to expect. We sat down and watched on this nice big screen, and it was interesting. You had a situation where these jurors were pretty much need to make a decision on whether this kid who killed his stepfather was guilty or not. If he was guilty, he's going to get the electric chair. If not, he wouldn't be convicted. And as the film starts out, it really just takes place in a room, and these guys, 11, believe he did it, and one doesn't. And throughout the film, we start to see all from personal reasons and personal experience of why each one chose their reason for a guilty verdict. And that one person eventually, little by little, starts to peel back the layers of each juror and convinces them that the kid, the 18-year-old one on trial, that he didn't commit the murder. And before it turns into 2 jurors, and then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. And for the most part, we get a personal outburst from most of them, but we also get an understanding of why they feel the way they do. That you start to realize that maybe they didn't choose guilty because they thought he was guilty. Maybe there was an underlying theme that something was going on with them that made them go that route, especially one of the jurors, because of his relationship with his own son. And then another juror who was rather prejudiced and low-key racist and doesn't grasp that his bias is why he chose guilty to begin with. He wasn't that interested in looking at the evidence or the facts, and he based around his mindset of people that don't look like him as automatically being guilty and are known for committing crimes. Henry Fonda, because he's the juror that goes around convincing him. I don't know the actors' names. They outside of Henry Fonda, only because of Jane Fonda and Bridget Fonda, Peter Fonda. I know those actors I've seen, and actresses I've seen a film or two from them, but I don't recall if I've ever seen anything from Henry Fonda outside of this. And these guys don't know each other. And the interesting thing is, once everything's said and done, they literally all leave and go their separate ways, and more than likely never run into each other ever again. But for that amount of time they were in the deliberation room, it was almost like a bond or a connection with each other, and trying to understand each other and understand where everybody comes from and why they feel the way they do. And I think that's what makes the film great, is that once everything's said and done, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? And I thought that was, maybe the first time I saw it I would have never thought about that, but now the second time I've actually watched it after all these years and really sat down and get a better understanding of it, I think that was kind of what was interesting about it. My rating for the film is a 10 out of 10 yes sirs. There's no music. You hear a little bit of sound and rain, but for the most part it's literally 12 guys sitting in a room and just hashing out about whether they're going to send somebody to the electric chair or not. And the crazy thing is, when everything's said and done, they leave and carry on with their lives. But the thing of it is like, what if things had went the other way, where this kid got convicted and he gets electrocuted and they're wrong? And you guys just walk around vicariously like, you know, you did what you were supposed to do, not realizing or not understanding that you just sent somebody, an innocent person, to death, and you're able to walk around. And it makes you wonder how many other people have actually done that and think nothing of it. It's like, it's really disturbing. So, for a black and white film, that may bother you, but you can't take away the dialogue, and you can't take away the purpose of the film, what it was meant to do, and what it ended up becoming. It's a classic film. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.